Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to uncover a never-before-revealed secret about Michael Landon. His mysterious cabin has finally been unlocked. You'll never know what's inside this private hideaway, from precious memorabilia to little-known stories about his legendary life. Join us on a journey to explore this special space and learn the secrets behind Michael Landon that you've never heard before. Are you curious about the secrets inside Michael Landon's hidden cabin? If you've seen Little House on the Prairie, leave a 1 if you love Michael Landon, or a 0 if this is your first time hearing about the story. Don't forget to watch the whole video and leave a sub to support the channel. Michael Landon was born Eugene Maurice Orowitz on October 31, 1936, in Forest Hills, Queens. His father was a Jewish-American actor, and his mother was an Irish Catholic dancer. Their marriage was strained largely because of religious differences. In 1941, when Eugene was 4 years old, the family moved to Collingswood, New Jersey. The small town shaped his childhood in painful ways. Despite his genius-level IQ, Eugene never felt smart. School was tough. His classmates bullied him, and his teachers didn't understand him. The town was hostile, full of anti-Semitic prejudice. Every Wednesday, while his Catholic classmates went to church, Eugene was forced to stay at school, standing alone, wiping the blackboard, wondering why he was different. But the most painful thing was at home. His mother suffered from severe mental illness and attempted suicide several times. Eugene saw things no child should see. One day, on a family trip to the beach, his mother walked into the ocean to commit suicide. Eugene, then a boy, jumped in after her. Waves crashed into his chest and he screamed, but she didn't stop. He punched her in the face to force her back. She acted as if nothing had happened, but Eugene vomited in fear. These suicide episodes happened so often that he never felt safe. Eugene was a bedwetter, not his fault, but a medical problem. But his mother didn't believe him, thinking he was lazy. She punished him, harshly hanging wet sheets out the window. The school bus stopped right in front of the house every morning, and his classmates saw it, which was a constant source of humiliation. Eugene tried to stop it. He would wake up before dawn, grab the sheets, run to the dry cleaners, wash them, and sneak home. Once, when the dry cleaners were closed, he tried to break in. She once sent him to a friend's house to test him. If he wet the bed, things would get worse. If he didn't, she said he was faking it. He couldn't win. Years later, Eugene made a movie about this nightmare called The Loneliest Runner. It was his way of telling the truth. But amid the pain, he found hope in sports. The javelin brought him peace. In high school, he threw 193 feet 4 inches in 1954, the national high school record. The next year, he broke the record with 211 feet 7 inches. Suddenly, everyone noticed Eugene. The once ridiculed boy was in the papers. A coach described him as a big guy with broad shoulders. It was like magic to Eugene. He got a scholarship to the University of Southern California, dreaming of the Olympics. But he had a strange belief that strength came from long hair like the biblical Samson. His teammates didn't believe him, and they cut his hair short to tease him. His throws missed by 50 feet. Panicking, he overextended himself, tearing a shoulder ligament. His athletic career and college dreams were shattered. Eugene did odd jobs to survive, selling blankets, stacking shelves, unloading boxes. One day, a co-worker asked him to read lines for an acting audition. Eugene performed better than his friend. A talent scout recognized his potential, but his name, Eugene Maurice Orowitz, sounded too Jewish, which might hinder his chances in Hollywood. He decided to take a risk and opened the phone book to look up a new name, Michael Lane was taken, then he saw Landon, and Eugene Maurice Horowitz became Michael Landon. Just 4 months later, he was cast in Telephone Time. His career was on the rise, but his real claim to fame came in a small 1957 horror film, I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Michael played a troubled teenager who turns into a werewolf. The idea was shocking because there had never been a horror film about a teenage werewolf before. The film cost less than $123,000, but grossed nearly $2 million, becoming a huge hit. His powerful performance caught the attention of Hollywood. In 1959, Michael starred in The Legend of Tom Dooley, a Union soldier who accidentally attacks a stagecoach because he doesn't know the war is over. The film, based on a true story and a famous folk song, is full of drama, romance, and tragedy. This role, just a few months before his big break, proved that he could lead a cowboy movie. Have you ever heard of Michael Landon's secret cabin? If you know someone who has been there, leave the number 2 in the comments. If this is your first time hearing about it, leave the number 5 in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to support me in discovering more interesting stories. That same year, everything changed. Michael got a call about a new television series originally called The Restless Gun, later called Bonanza. He was cast as Little Joe Cartwright, the youngest of 3 brothers. When Bonanza first aired on Saturday, September 12, 1959, it was more than just a Western. It changed television forever. Bonanza was the first Western to be shot entirely in color. Most viewers still had black and white TVs, but NBC had the foresight to believe that the beautiful scenery around Lake Tahoe and the Ponderosa Ranch would entice viewers to buy color sets. The gamble paid off. Color TV soon became the standard, and Bonanza led the way. Each episode cost $100,000 to $150,000, the equivalent of nearly $1 million today. The budgets delivered movie-quality results that set a new standard for television. But Bonanza was not just about the visuals, it was about the person. Michael Landon, as Little Joe, won the hearts of audiences around the world. By 1966, he was receiving fan mail from 64 of the 70 countries where Bonanza aired more than 5,000 letters a week, far more than his co-stars. The letters came in every language. Fans believed Little Joe really understood them. Landon joked that he could say, "I don't speak your language in German and Swedish, just needed to learn Japanese." Years earlier, Landon had dreamed of fame as a javelin thrower, but he had never expected to be recognized for his acting in dozens of languages. Bonanza quickly dominated the ratings. It didn't make the top 30 in its first year, but it cracked the top 20 in its second season, reached number 2 in its third season, and by season 6, 1964-65, it was at the top with a 36.3 rating and more than 19 million viewers a week. By early 1964, nearly 60% of America's TV viewers were watching Bonanza. No other show could match it. For 3 straight seasons, Bonanza was the top show. Rival networks like CBS tried to compete with the Judy Garland show My Living Doll and the Joey Bishop show, but failed. The Cartwrights were unstoppable. Bonanza stayed in the top 10 for 11 years and in the top 20 for 12. Off-camera, the camaraderie among the cast was strong. Lorne Greene, as Ben Cartwright, became a father figure. Michael Landon and Dan Blocker, his on-screen children, often sought his advice. Greene also helped negotiate contracts that made all 3 millionaires. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. Director William Claxton once called Landon an aggressive brat in the early days. Pernell Roberts as Adam clashed with producers over the script and left after season 6. Landon and Blocker became close friends, even buying beachfront property with Green. As his fan base grew, so did Landon's influence. In 1962, at age 25, he convinced the network to let him write scripts. He thought it would be easy, but he was wrong. His first script took him 2 long days, leaving him exhausted and unable to write for nearly 3 years. But then he found his passion. Writing is the hardest job in television, Landon says. By 1968, at age 31, Landon was also a director. He became the creative center of Bonanza. His trusted team followed him to Little House on the Prairie and Highway to Heaven. Landon was no longer just working behind the camera, but building his own storytelling empire, becoming one of the most powerful figures on television. In 1972, everything changed. Dan Blocker, who played Hoss, died suddenly after gallbladder surgery at the age of 43. Blocker's death shocked the entire cast, especially Michael Landon and Lorne Greene. The trio had worked together for 13 years like a real family. Greene later said he felt like he had lost a family member. When NBC decided to continue Bonanza without Hoss, Greene was furious. He believed the show should have ended right there. The first episode of the new season aired in September 1972 was called Forever. Originally intended to be Hoss's wedding episode, Landon was forced to rewrite the entire script after Blocker's death. In the new version, Little Joe loses his wife and brother-in-law in a brutal crime and sets out to find justice. The episode included many quiet tributes to Blocker. In one scene, Joe and Ben cry together, a rare occurrence in a series that was often tepid about emotion. A slow-motion shot of a photo of Hoss on a desk was also touching. The episode was an instant hit, reaching 4th place in the weekly ratings, evidence that viewers needed a goodbye too. Despite the success of Forever, NBC made a fatal mistake. They moved Bonanza from Sunday nights to Tuesdays. Viewers didn't catch on, and ratings plummeted from 4th to 39th, then to 52nd. On November 6, 1972, NBC announced the show's cancellation. Lorne Greene was furious. He had been told only on Monday and was leaving on Wednesday. "Nobody should be treated like that," he said. "Even a street sweeper deserves a week's notice." NBC later tried to reverse the decision, but it was too late. The set had been demolished. Bonanza's final episode aired on January 16, 1973, ending a 14-season, 431-episode run. However, Bonanza ended without a proper ending, no real goodbye or definitive finale to thank the audience. Nevertheless, Bonanza's legacy, along with Michael Landon's, lives on in the hearts of fans. The show laid the foundation for a solid career and made a huge impact in American television history. In 1974, amid a sea of buzzy investigative dramas, crime dramas, and sitcoms, Michael Landon wanted to create something with more depth and calm. After leaving Bonanza, he didn't rest and quickly set out on a new journey. Although NBC was initially skeptical, a series about a 19th-century pioneer family wasn't considered a big hit. Landon's reputation and new exclusive contract convinced NBC to produce Little House on the Prairie. Landon's final push to get the project off the ground came from his own family, as his daughter was reading the books and his wife was enjoying them. That deep personal connection was the strongest reason for NBC to approve a 2-hour pilot, which premiered in March 1974. By September 11 of that year, the show was airing weekly and quickly became a hit. In addition to being the star, Michael Landon also served as producer, writer, and director for the entire show. He produced all 204 episodes from 1974 to 1983, wrote dozens of scripts, and directed many more. His work style was fast and decisive, often shooting in one take, and then saying print when he was satisfied, move on, and moving on. Little House on the Prairie became the embodiment of Landon's style, tone, and artistic vision. Even after the show ended, he kept the story alive with 3 television sequels. Michael Landon was not only a rising star, he was also one of the most powerful figures in television. He didn't do it all alone, bringing with him a team of trusted aides from his Bonanza days, including producer Kent McCrae, director William Claxton, and composer David Rose, who composed the music for all 204 episodes. Landon also made a special place for his close friend Victor French, who first played Mr. Edwards on Little House and later co-starred with Landon on Highway to Heaven. He even used his annual Rose Parade hosting fee to quietly buy Christmas presents for the entire cast and crew, a small but meaningful gesture that showed his deep appreciation and gratitude for those who had been with him. But things weren't all rosy behind the scenes. Karen Grassel, who played Ma, faced a bitter fight for a raise in 1975. Despite the show being in the top 10, Landon blocked her from getting a raise. He told her the network didn't think her character was popular and that she should be paid the same as child actors. Grassel was deeply hurt. Landon even began cutting her screen time in many episodes, cutting her to less than 8 minutes per episode, drastically reducing her passive income. At one point, she was paid just $127 per rerun over 2 seasons. She felt cornered, her contract was binding, and leaving would have been career suicide. It wasn't just about money. It was also about Michael Landon's disrespectful behavior. Karen Grassel described him as constantly making sexual jokes during rehearsals. One time before filming a bedroom scene, Landon started making lewd comments about women that left her speechless, not knowing how to react. His lewd jokes also made other actresses uncomfortable. Melissa Gilbert confirmed that both Grassel and Catherine McGregor couldn't stand the jokes. Michael Landon also had an affair with Cindy Clarico, a makeup artist much younger than him. Despite being married, he was comfortable sharing this with everyone around him. He didn't just stop at words, he also used his power to limit the role of Karen Grassel, who played his wife on screen. Grassel said that over a long period of time, her role was increasingly severely cut. There were episodes where she simply poured a cup of coffee and walked out of the scene. Sometimes the camera wouldn't even focus on her face, but instead on the props in the scene. Despite spending hours getting dressed and getting into makeup, Grassel ended up appearing in just a few seconds of the episode. Her co-stars began distancing themselves from her, and she turned to alcohol as a way to cope with the pressure and stress. "If you were in my shoes, you would do the same thing," she said. All of this created a stressful and difficult working environment for her on set. Michael Landon's dark side may stem from painful memories from his past. Born Eugene in 1936, he grew up in a difficult environment with a mother who struggled with mental health and attempted suicide several times. When he was 10 years old, he stopped his mother from committing suicide. The memory haunted him, and he once called it the worst day of his life. This pain was also reflected in his Little House on the Prairie scripts. By season 3, Landon was writing stories about characters struggling with despair, some of which were quite profound and emotional. Landon is not afraid to show his deep emotional wounds through his scenes, especially the dramatic hand-to-hand combat scenes. These fights are not only action scenes that attract audiences, but also a way for him to convey his personal emotions, helping him release the pressure inside. Stuntmen and critics have all noticed that Landon has no intention of hurting anyone, but simply wants to bring his true emotions to the screen, making the character more real and alive. In the script, the character Charles often stands up for the weak, a reflection of Landon's real life when he protected his mother when she lost control. The fact that Landon performs his own fight scenes without the help of a stunt double shows that this is not only an art of acting, but also a spiritual healing process for him. Through these action scenes, Landon seems to tell his life story in his own language, both powerful and profound. Despite the difficulties, Landon worked hard, rewriting scripts, frequently working late into the night and demanding that each scene be perfected until it was just right. Those who worked with him described him as a perfectionist, some feeling he could be a little harsh, but most appreciated the results. His daughter once said his health suffered from the workload, but his dedication allowed the show to tackle important topics like racism, poverty, illness, and violence. Topics that were rarely explored on family television in the 1970s. A huge contrast in Michael Landon's life is the image he portrays on screen compared to the real person he is. On television, Landon builds an image of the ideal American father, a model man, devoted, and always puts his family first. He shows warmth, patience, and is a solid support for his loved ones. However, in real life, Landon chose the completely opposite path. He left his wife after 19 years of marriage to pursue a much younger woman, even younger than his daughter. This contradiction leaves many fans feeling disappointed and confused. When the affair was exposed, the consequences were severe and long-lasting. Lynn No, his wife of nearly 2 decades, painfully and angrily discovered the affair by spying on them. In a fit of uncontrollable rage, she threw a bottle of vodka at Landon's head. The incident quickly spread through the media, causing a public uproar. Major sponsors such as Kodak immediately terminated their advertising contracts with him, and the press continuously reported on the scandal, turning it into a hot topic that seriously affected Landon's reputation. In later interviews, Landon attempted to explain his actions, insisting that they were not motivated by lust or desire, but by deep, fractious issues in his marriage. He attributed them to the mental and emotional struggles that both he and his wife had been dealing with for years. However, fans and the public did not easily accept this justification, seeing the stark contrast between Landon's on-screen angelic image and his turbulent personal life. Despite the turmoil, Landon married Cindy Clarico in 1983. The couple had 2 more children, Jennifer and Sean, bringing their total to 9. With his youngest children, Landon was warm, approachable, and fun-loving. Sean once shared that he had no idea his father was famous because of Landon's down-to-earth and down-to-earth demeanor around the family. Jennifer recalled that her father treated her like an adult, even watching the movie My Left Foot with her when she was just 6 years old, a special moment that showed his deep concern for his children. However, the older children had difficulty adjusting to the changing family circumstances. Cheryl, his stepdaughter from his second marriage, described Landon's deep love and devotion when he was by her side in the hospital after a serious car accident. He was there for her, always encouraging and caring for her. However, he hurt her by leaving her mother, plunging the family into crisis and creating a lasting emotional wound. The separation and turmoil in Landon's personal life left many scars not only on him, but also on those closest to him. Melissa Gilbert, who played Laura on Little House on the Prairie, was also caught in the middle of internal conflict and tension. She once wrote, "I was supposed to work with Mike, but he did something that tore my world apart." Landon's events and actions not only affected him, but also disrupted the lives of those around him, especially those who had been with him for many years in the industry. Years later, Landon's son, Michael Jr., made a documentary called The Father I Knew. The film was not only a tribute to his late father, but also a profound exploration of love and vulnerability. Michael Jr. wanted to convey what it was like to love someone, despite knowing how much they could hurt you. In 1984, after a series of scandals, Landon returned to the small screen with a new show called Highway to Heaven. He played Jonathan Smith, an angel sent to help people on Earth overcome difficulties. The idea for the character came to him when he was stuck in traffic in Beverly Hills and saw people honking their horns. Landon thought to himself, if people were nicer, things would go a lot smoother. From that thought, he built a show around kindness, second chances, and faith in life. Landon's angel character, who lived under the name Arthur Thompson, died in 1948, the exact age he would be when he died, 54. Highway to Heaven aired for 5 seasons, with a total of 111 episodes. Like Landon, the angel character is not perfect, has flaws, but always tries to do the best he can. The show has made its mark both inspiring and deeply exploring human values. In early 1991, while skiing in Utah, Landon began to suffer from severe headaches. Doctors quickly diagnosed him with pancreatic cancer. By April 5th, the disease had spread to his liver. He was only 54 years old. Still, just a month later, Landon appeared on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, where he openly discussed his health, even joking to lighten the mood, and advising people not to ignore the warning signs. Throughout her career, Kathleen Turner received critical acclaim and won numerous awards for her ability to portray strong, independent women on screen. Despite her professional success, Turner faced personal challenges, including rheumatoid arthritis, which affected her mobility and career. However, she remained resilient and continued to pursue her passion for acting on stage and screen. Today, Kathleen Turner is still active in film, television, and theater, and her contributions to the film industry continue to be celebrated. During his illness, his children, especially Sean and Jennifer, were largely shielded from the spotlight, but still felt the storm of life. His Malibu home became more than a residence. It became a symbol, a place where actors, friends, and family would gather to listen to music, barbecue, and talk. As his illness worsened, it became the last place where everyone gathered. The weekend before Landon died, all 9 of his children were together. Their differences were no longer important. And at 1:20 p.m. on July 1, 1991, Michael Landon passed away at home, holding Cindy's hand. Before he left, he looked at his children and asked for a moment alone with Cindy. "I love you all very much, but could you come downstairs and give me some time with Cindy?" Michael Landon's funeral was a solemn affair with about 500 people attending to pay their respects. President Ronald Reagan once called Landon's battle with cancer a story that touches the heart of every American. Meanwhile, Melissa Gilbert, who played Laura in Little House on the Prairie, simply said, "He had integrity." These words partly reflect the influence and respect that Landon received throughout his life and career. Landon's grave is simple and quiet, with the inscription, "He lived a life full of joy, he gave it generously," leaving behind a legacy of love and laughter. The grave is located at Hillside Memorial Park, next to his adopted son Mark, who died in 2009. There is also a secret memorial near the Malibu cliffs, where strangers often leave flowers, rocks, and letters as a quiet and poignant tribute. In 1998, the National Cowboy Museum inducted Michael Landon into its Hall of Fame, recognizing his significant contributions to entertainment and American culture. His star still shines brightly on Hollywood Boulevard at 1500 North Vine Street. But for those who truly knew him, it wasn't the awards or accolades that mattered. It was the little things, the moments, the values, and the way he lived his life. Landon's daughter, Shauna, once said something very true about her father. Don't wait. There are only so many tomorrows. That is how Michael Landon lived, cherishing every precious moment in his life, and that is how he wanted to be remembered forever. His optimism and spirit of living life to the fullest inspired many people. After Michael Landon died in 1991, something strange happened to the Malibu mansion he once called home. It wasn't sold quickly, nor was it torn down or renovated like so many other celebrity homes. Instead, it stood for years, a living testament to the passage of time. This wasn't just any house, but a sprawling 7-bedroom estate on Malibu's 70-foot stretch of golden shoreline, a place that once echoed with laughter, children's screenplays, and lavish parties now quiet and still. Locals began calling the mansion Michael Landon's abandoned house. People whispered about it while tourists flocked to see inside through the gate. Some brought cameras to take pictures, treating it as a shrine to his memory. The garden became overgrown sea fog, left stains on the windows, and the exterior wood began to fade and peel, as if nature were slowly covering up the house's past bit by bit. Yet the house still stands untouched, a silent reminder of the man who once lived there. Online forums quickly spread the story of the mysterious house, and real estate photographers took haunting pictures of its desolation. One photo shows a murky window that appears to have gone uncleaned in years. Another shows vines growing up the exterior walls. The house has become a mystery that has many wondering, why is it still empty? Why hasn't anyone intervened or fixed it up? However, what few people know is that Landon sold the house 2 years before his death in 1989. The sale price was $6 million, which adjusted for inflation would be about $11 million today. The original buyer kept the house without any repairs, which gradually became more and more dilapidated and abandoned. But then someone finally took the risk and invested in a complete renovation. Michael Landon's once deserted mansion has been completely renovated into a luxurious Malibu beachfront residence. From the modern interior's new walls to meticulous care, the home has been brought back to life and sold for a whopping $40 million in 2014. This is not only a testament to the potential of the property, but also a reflection of the enduring vitality of memory and legacy. A living symbol of transformation and renewal linked to the life and career of one of America's talk show hosts. Next to the villa is a secret cabin deep in the woods where Landon seeks tranquility, creative inspiration, and connection with himself. The rustic space, filled with personal memorabilia, handwritten music diaries, and even unpublished documents, has revealed a part of his deep inner life. The cabin is not only a shelter, but also a miniature museum of Landon, from childhood to the last years of his life, imbued with the breath of nature and the simple life values that he always pursued. Thank you for watching today's video. Michael Landon's secret cabin is not only a private space, but also a place to keep his most genuine memories and emotions, a part of his life that few people know about. If you find the video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and comment your thoughts, and remember to subscribe to the channel to discover more interesting stories about screen legends. See you in the next video.